Hi, I'm Natalie Carey. I'm one of the coaches on Tonal, and these are modifications for my program, Stronger Every Day, Day 1. I'm going to start with warm-up modifications. The first move is a rotating lunge to a squat. So this is the version that I use in the actual warm-up. But if you want to modify this, probably because you need to go slower or your knees are bothering you, let's do a modified version of a smaller squat. Mindfully rotate your feet. Do a smaller lunge, come back, and you're always mindfully setting your feet up so that your knees are lined up with your toes and your hips. And if the regular version is bothering your knees, you just go at a lower range of motion into those exercises. Next move that we have is a jump and landing on one foot. If for whatever reason you want to modify that, maybe you want to take that jump out, maybe you don't want to do some jumping today, rise up onto your toes and then shift onto one foot into a little squat. Up onto our toes, we shift, balance, come down into a little squat. And if you're having trouble balancing, you can use a barbell attachment, a foam roller, maybe the wall that you're working out next to help you. And this will help you to balance. We come up on our toes, we shift our weight over to one foot, and then we come down into a little squat there. Again, up onto our toes, shift our weight over, and land in that little squat. Next exercise in our warm-up is a side hip raise. And the regular version I do for that in the workout, I stack my feet, I come into a side plank, and then I'm dropping my hip and raising it back up. If you want to do a modified version of that, you can do it at an incline. Get on your bench. You can actually do this on your wall as well. I'll show you in a minute. Come into a side plank, drop your hip, and come back up. You can also do this on your wall. So I would get into a balancing position with your hand here, and then drop your hip, pull it away from the wall. Finally, if you do want to come down for the floor, but you're not ready for the full plank version, you can tuck one knee underneath you, come into this modified side plank, drop your hip, and then raise it back up towards the ceiling. The last exercise that I want to cover for warm-up modifications is a single leg RDL balance. The regular version, I come down into a single leg Romanian deadlift, and I'm holding here. I'm sure this has a yoga name for it. If you are not comfortable balancing like that, again, use your barbell attachment, a foam roller, maybe the wall next to you. Bend your knees slightly, hinge mostly at the hip, and then hinge forward. And try to balance just using maybe like one or two fingers on your balancing assistance apparatus. And then we'll switch to the other side. Make sure you do both sides. Again, using one or two fingers here to help you balance and keeping these hips as squared off towards the floor as you want. You can also practice not coming down quite as far in that balance. So maybe you want to work on your balance, but you don't want to come all the way parallel. Just hinge forward at the hips, soft knee, and practice balancing on a single leg here. All right, those are the warm-up modifications for day 1 of Stronger Every Day.